fight back. I mean, not how we started, but how we kind of played after really the first two drives and really until the last two drives. I mean, we kind of put ourselves in a position to be successful, to make plays, and we had guys make plays that way. We got more explosives this week percentage-wise than what we've had really since the Oklahoma State game. That was good, and then and we talk about it all the time. I mean, we deferred to start the game, and there's a reason behind that. And our goal is that we can try to steal possession at the end of the second quarter, and then start the third quarter and get another one. And we've been, knock on wood, been pretty good at the first drive of the third quarter when we start with the football. And we were able to get that score right before halftime. And I know we left more time on the clock than we probably expected to after hitting the big play to RJ. But then we were able to start the second half, and basically it turns into a 14-3 swing. All of a sudden it gets us right back into the football game. So those were some of the things that kind of stood out, and we were able to kind of keep that thing and to take a lead back in the fourth, have the lead going in the fourth quarter, get the lead back in the fourth quarter one time. We gotta find a way to do that one more time, and then everything's a lot different.
What do you think is the reason behind the slower starts to the games?
I don't know, because a week ago, we had an 11 o'clock game in Morgantown and we started fast. And this one we hit an explosive play on the first play. Second down didn't go as hoped, and then the third down, and then the third play when we throw the ball, and we got to put a little more zip on that, flatten that down. Easy's got to fight through it, and then the ball gets tipped, and then they had a guy playing hard. It was in the right position to kind of pick it off. So that, and then the next drive we get an explosive play that almost, if we hit the guy running, it's an 88-yarder, but instead it's a 29-yarder, and then we're not able to capitalize off that, and then we kind of settled ourselves down and got going after that. But no, we talk about it all the time. It's you got to start practice fast. You got to start everything that you do. You got to anticipate what they're going to do. They came out and played pretty much exactly what we expected them to do on defense, which normally that helps you settle down and kind of get into the rhythm a little bit quicker. It didn't go as quickly this week as we hoped, but it was good that we did get settled down and was able to kind of get back and make it a game and kind of give ourselves a chance when it's all said and done.
Is it fair to say
go this week? Is it all McClain all the time, or who is kind of filling into that role as well?
Mannix is kind of the first guy who's played there all year and really, has done a really good job for us in that way. And then Xavier Martin is back practicing there since he'd been at quarterback, and he kind of practiced throughout the time there. And then Keyshawn did that all spring, and then he's done it periodically during the season when we have guys get dinged up, because Xavier White's went down there, Rigdon's dinged right now. We had 1 week where Rigdon and Mannix didn't practice for a day and a half, and there were a bunch of new bodies running around there. But we'll have someone in there and everything. But Martin and Keyshawn can both kind of fit in there and give us more options.
with that interception on that opening drive, is it fair to say that it kind of just let the air out of any excitement you guys had at that point, and then had to build it back up?
Yeah, I don't know if it completely. The defense did a great job where we gave them the football and they held them to a field goal, and then we were able to get the ball back, and that the next drive was probably more deflating because you hit a play, you get another one, you got a chance to get right back into this and come back, and we don't. But no, I thought the kids handled it well. We didn't let that really affect the next drive, because the next drive we kind of came out and hit another play. So that we got to continue to stack good plays on top of each other, and then and we're not, knock on wood, we've been pretty good about protecting the football and not turning it over. So that was a little bit of a surprise, but I thought the kids handled it well as far as, okay, that's fine. We just got to get it back. The defense will get some turnovers for us, and we'll be right back where we need to be.
What's your eye see when you look at the defense this weekend?
They're a stout group. They're the best in the conference against the pass, and a lot of that is that they only it's about 57.9 plays per game is what they face, and that's by design. We played, their D coordinator was at Wyoming last year. We've played against him the last 2 years at Utah State, and they run a very similar program at Wyoming. And Coach, everybody's from the North Dakota state kind of background, but they want to eat the clock up. They're going to run the clock down. We have to understand every possession we get is important. Are we going to get 14 drives this game? Probably not. We're going to get 12. Let's hope so. Could we end up with 10? Yep. Well, we got to take every one of them's got to be, utmost importance to put that ball in the end zone, and we got to go do that, because the best way for us to affect them is to put points on that board, because then it changes and puts them in a little bit of more of a sped up process, and then it gives our defense the upper hand in those ways.
If Maverick is ever healthy enough this season, obviously Jet has been more than serviceable for you guys at quarterback. Is there a perfect situation in your head of where he could be used, or is it roll with Jet until further notice or until something happens that would cause him to not be able to play?
Really, it'll probably. I mean, we haven't gone that far. I mean, Maverick's getting back into practice, getting reps. We're repping him as much as we kind of can, splitting the time with the two with him and Jackson, so we can kind of see where he's at in his progression of being a college quarterback and that. Right now, I would say it's kind of Jets the go. We got to keep him healthy, keep him upright. He gives us the best chance to be successful, and he's put us in position to really win more games than what we have, which is the quarterback's #1 job is don't beat the team. Next thing is give yourself a chance to win, and then the third step is now, hey, go win it for him and everything. So that's what we're working on there. But no, Jet would be we'll ride with Jet and everything, and I don't see anything that way changing as for these next 2 games.
If Jet were to go down, Allen still has that 1 game left. Is Allen to a point that is he knocking enough rust off to use that 1 game if Jet goes down?
Possibly. I don't know if it would be. I mean, last week he wasn't ready for last week that way. We'll kind of have to see how this week kind of goes with him if it's kind of in that position. We've talked to him about that. He understands that if need be to go win a football game, he could be called on, and he jumped at the idea and said, "Yeah, coach, whatever I can do to help us in that way." And we're also going to be smart about using that 4th game for him and making sure it's the right situation and not wasting that, because that is a big deal. And also putting him out there, making sure he's ready to go out and compete at the level he's capable of competing at, which we know is a very high level. So we just got to kind of continue to get him back. But this week in practice will kind of give us a better idea of where he kind of stands.
What's the difference between being cleared and being in that football-ready shape to where they could go out?
I mean, cleared is we can practice them, and then it's a matter. I mean, they can do all football activities with us, and with quarterbacks, sometimes you get them back a little earlier than what most positions will get cleared at, because we protect them in practice. They're not going to get hit. We can blow the whistle when they take off running. You can't do that at a tailback. You can't do that at guard. You can't do that at a linebacker position. So we were able to get Maverick and probably a little bit more doing stuff a little earlier than what he was completely cleared to be able to play football and that. And then now it's just a matter of getting it to the point where he's ready to go play a football game, go compete at this level. And for a freshman that's never done it, what's he have to fall back on? I mean, the last game he played was, I think, game 3 at San Angelo a year ago. So there's been a lot of time in between there. So it takes a little time, but at some point we'll pull the trigger and he'll be out there running the team.
If there were a magic wand that you could wave and fix one thing about your offense, what would it be?
Well, it's probably different each week. I mean, this past week it was really the settling for field goals in the red zone. Really probably hurt us the most. I mean, we had 2 opportunities in the red zone, and both times we came away with field goals, and we didn't execute down there nearly what we're capable of or what we kind of had throughout the season for the most part. That, and then our run game last week was really non-existent, and that kind of became apparent early and everything, and then we kind of went away from it. Which, looking back, could we have run for more yards? Yes. Would it have helped us, put us in a better position to win? I don't know, and you kind of always want to evaluate that. But for this past game, it'd be scoring touchdowns in the red zone and then having our run game put more pressure on them that way, so then our play action probably have a little bit more to it.
How much of the run game, from what you saw on tape, was not having the necessary holes for them to get through, and how much of it was maybe they didn't have the same burst as you do because they're trying to work back?
The backs were really kind of where they were needed to be and where they were supposed to be and everything. We really didn't do as well at the point of attack as I thought. I kind of expected or thought we would against them. They did a really good job. Knowing going in that I thought their D tackles were really strong starting individuals. Their DNs probably gave us a little bit more than I thought. I thought we'd be probably a little bit more physical and be able to move those guys a little bit more, and we weren't. So they were able to kind of hold the line, and that was probably the most disappointing thing of the run game was we didn't really play on that side of the line of scrimmage. I mean, I think our biggest run with the backs was a 6-yarder, and we got down the red zone the one time, and then we had a couple 5-yarders, and that was it. And the 2 5-yard runs were both kind of, I mean, the backs, it wasn't running free to 5 yards. They had to work their tails off to get to that. So we weren't playing on their side of the line as much as we needed to, and that's they got after us up front a little bit more than probably I expected to going into the game.
How compromised are your running backs right now? Health-wise, what do you?
I think. I mean, you're dealing with 2 now, which is a little bit different. But no, they've both. I don't think either one. I mean, neither one's at 100%, but they're not outside the 90 percentile. I mean, I think we're getting out of them what you will be at this time of the year on those guys. And if we had opened up a little bit more space for them, I'm sure they would have gotten us more than what they got. They're probably a little limited when they get out into space about some of the kind of making guys miss. We saw that from Sarajic a couple times when we were able to dump the ball to him out in space on a couple passes. He didn't really have what he maybe had 6-7 weeks ago when he made guys miss that way, because he is working on some not flat tires, but they're definitely down in air in that way. But as far as running the ball inside, they've done a really good job with that, and they still, I think, kind of have their physicalness and the burst part that way.